Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low. Hi, J Fallon, and thanks for listening. Hey, it's funny. You can see sometimes that someone will say something, someone will give some information, advice, and you can see when all the backlash comes that they start backpedaling a couple of days later, and you can see it in their face. They're sitting there going, "Man, I wish I just had to kept my mouth shut and not said anything." I reckon this is what's happened with this Canadian police officer. He is the police chief. He has given some advice, and look, not to stick up for him too much, but I can understand what he's saying. The problem is every situation can be so unique. You can't just go and give this blanket advice like this. Yep, sure, call for the police, but then you have to make up your own mind what you're going to do. But he has copped some serious backlash, and I really want to know from you what you think, whether his advice was good, is good, that's something you should listen to, and yep, I think it's something you should have in the back of your mind. However, uh, you should have a couple of things that a couple of things that you're thinking, well, maybe okay, if it looks like this, you're going to be able to assess the situation and take it from there. If this is what's happening, well, then I'll go down this path. If it looks like this is happening, I'll go down that path. If that's happening, well, then I'll go down that path. You need to be able to assess quickly, take on board everything that's happening, and then make a decision and go with it, run with it. And then once you've made that decision, you have to you have to be able to live with it, but you have to go full steam ahead. You can't have doubts in your mind creeping in. His advice here: people people were not impressed with his advice. Okay, so Canadian police chief slammed over advice on home invasions. A Canadian police chief offered up bizarre advice, it says, for citizens handling home invasions, suggesting that people should just comply. Well, yeah, okay. New York Regional Police Chief Jim MacSween advised in a news conference on September 3rd that residents shouldn't take matters into their own hands if they are a victim of a home invasion. The best defense for most people is to comply, MacSween said at the conference. That's a picture of him right there, MacSween. So just comply. My advice is to rely on our police service. I mean, I don't know how Canada's police service is, if it's anything like Australia, but sometimes it can take a while, And hello, if someone's actually in your house, climbing through the window, so you're going to be confronting them any second. Maybe you don't always have time to wait for police. Can you just hold on a sec? I'm just on the phone to police, and then you just can all talk about it. Just relax. Just wait there at the window. Don't come in yet. Crazy. So he says, yeah, call 911 immediately. Let us take it from there. Obviously, if you're in Australia, it's 000. Don't call 911. He goes, we saw more often than not when people comply that injuries are not happening. That's what the criminal wants. Just comply. It's all good. But MacSween was quickly forced to defend himself 2 days later after he was repeatedly slammed by celebrities, members of the public for his bizarre advice. So people like Kevin Sorbo got on and slammed slammed the police chief for this advice, considering there'd been a couple of instances just in the last month of violent home invasions and people, I believe they're actually killed. So there was a young child raped. There was a man executed in front of his family. And then you got the police chief standing up saying, well, just comply, go along with it. Tell me, how is a 3-year-old supposed to comply? That's just ridiculous. So days after the conference, MacSween said in a statement that his advice was suggested as a tactic in the hopes of preserving lives, just preserving lives. When I told citizens not to take matters into their own hands, it had nothing to do with politics or with concern over force used against the perpetrators of home invasions, he said. It was suggested as a tactic in the hopes of preserving lives. Should citizens be confronted with an armed intruder when it comes to defending property, material items can be replaced, but lives cannot. There is no one piece of advice to offer to citizens who are faced with an intruder in their home, but call 911. Listen, every situation is so unique. You have to be able to make split decisions and go with it. You're in your home, someone is trying to break in, they know you're home, they're still trying to break in, force their way in, invade. You don't know what's going on. Hopefully, it's not like just someone out to get revenge because you're a criminal. But you don't know what's going on and why they're there. You've got no idea what the possibilities could be, what possibly could be. So yeah, call police, jump on the phone, call police as soon as you can. And after that, you need to be able to make decisions and assess quickly. Quickly assess, get a reading of what's going on, try and get a reading of the person coming in. What actions are you able to take? Obviously, defending your family is paramount. That is more important than anything. But listen, what do you think of this police chief's advice? It seems a little ridiculous. It really does. I mean, just comply. Well, that's just one thing that you may be able to do. But I would say I'm no expert. I'm a former police officer, but no expert in home invasions. The likelihood that if someone's got the I don't like this word using this word, but the courage, the the thought of mind that they could break into your house, invade your house while you're there, and really don't give a damn that you are there, well, then it is very, very, very likely that they are not going to have any qualms about committing violence against you or your family. If they don't care about the fact that you're even home at the time when they're getting in, they're not going to care about much else, are they? So, when he says about complying, if this was me, I'm not giving you advice, but if this was me, complying would be one of the last things I would be thinking about. One of the last things I would be thinking about altogether. So, there is no kind of advice, one piece of advice fits all every situation. But this kind of advice coming from a police chief to just comply. In my mind, like I said, if someone has got that kind of mindset where they think that they can just break in, invade your home, knowing full well you're home, and they really don't care, well, I don't think complying is going to be the best bet. Now, mind you, if there's a way that you could lock yourself in the room, you have some kind of setup where you can get your whole family safely into a room and barricaded, I'd probably, you know, strongly recommend that in most scenarios. However, if you've got a family to defend, well, you have to take all these things into thought, into consideration. But let me know what you think. Do you reckon this is good advice coming from a police chief? Sometimes I think these guys just need to really be quiet. Just say, well, call the police and you do what you need to do to defend your home, to defend your family, to defend the lives of your children, your wife, your husband, whatever. That's what I think they should be saying. Let me know what you reckon. I'm J Fallon. Thanks for listening.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher.